Here we go, back again with another match day preview and transfer talk. Yes, I've got a full list of Sunderland players behind me. We'll explain and I'll let you know my thoughts on where we fully staffed and where we need bodies in and where we need to send some of the other people who are in there for me who are just not good enough for the Premier League. But we'll chat about that in a bit. But first of all, hold it there a minute. So folks, before we delve into the transfer window, delve into how many players we need, delve into the match preview, do me a massive favour. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. We're very close to 21,000 subscribers and you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Right, let's get on with this shite. Just in the process of making this video, Sunderland have put an improved offer on Jhon Lucumi. Yes, from Bologna, £28 million plus some sort of 10% sell-on clause. Bologna want to keep Jhon Lucumi, but it's led allegedly to believe that he wants to come to Sunderland. And he is the centre-back I would love to bring to Sunderland. Missing jigsaw piece from Sunderland's central defence. And then a big tick, all done at the back. After last night's disappointing cup exit against second squad League One opposition Huddersfield. And again, congratulations to Huddersfield. You did the job on Sunderland well and truly last night. Sunderland were kind of their own architects of their own downfall. Regis Labrie mucked about in the first half. Tried one or two new things. Didn't work out. Put us on the back foot. Second half we came out, up the tempo. Pretty good performances for certain individuals, but a lot of people let the side down. Let the fans down, of course, as well. So we did go out of the Carabao Cup. Never mind. Life goes on and we move back on to the league where we've won one, we've lost one. West Ham, over the moon with that victory. I was a bit tentative beforehand, thinking, well, can we actually start well in the Premier League? Can we win a game of football in the Premier League straight away? And we did do so convincingly. Perfect performance, but Burnley comes along and we lose Dan Ballard early doors, and apparently it's going to be 2 or 3 or possibly 4 weeks before Dan Ballard's back. So do we need strength and depth with the injuries that we have at this moment in time? Transfer window closes on, I think it's 7 o'clock on Monday night. Yes, September the 1st. But now we welcome Brentford up to the Stadium of Light. Now, I was kind of thinking Brentford, they got promoted via the playoffs back in 2021, I think it was. 17,000 fans getting to their stadium. It's called the Brentford Community Stadium or something like that. The Bees. They were founded back in 1889, 135 years young. 17,250 fans into their ground. They haven't got the biggest ground in the world. But what they've done brilliantly since they get into the Premier League. They've invested in young players brilliantly. Must have a good scouting system. And they're doing exactly what Sunderland are going to try and do over the next couple of seasons. Now, with them losing Umbermo and Norgard to Arsenal, Umbermo to Manchester United, I was thinking, well, they're losing some of the best players, but that's what teams like Brighton, Brentford, no disrespect to Brighton, Brentford and Bournemouth, they do. They recruit really well, they bring in really good talented players at a young age. They might still spend 40 million on them, but then they double the price or they treble the price. They might get one for 10,000 and sell them 10,000. We get one for 100, 10,000, yes, and sell them for like 100,000 or sell them for 30,000. But they obviously make a profit, and that's what they do. They reinvest the money again, and that's how they survive. Now, they did brilliant last season. They finished 10th. Good season. They've got in Henderson. I can't pronounce that one. Otagawa. Milabo. Keller. And Coyote. I just probably butchered all those names. I've wrote them down because I never remember those names, but never mind. I never remembered. I think I said them better in my mind than I did when I opened my mouth. That tends to be the way with me anyway. But yeah, Keith Andrews is the new head coach because, of course, Thomas Frank got scouted for Tottenham. He's done well. Tottenham won 2 games, top of the table. Not top on goal difference, but top of the table. And Keith Andrews is the new... Keith Andrews came in at Brentford to be a free kick or set piece specialist, and he's been given the job. Now, Brentford fans, let me know down in the comments below. Is he here for the foreseeable future? Is he an interim manager? I don't know what's going on with Keith Andrews, but he's won one. Well, you know, he's won 2 out of 3 with a win last night in the Carabao Cup away to Bournemouth. They did beat Aston Villa last weekend at home. And Villa have had a struggling start of the season, but they lost the first game of the season 3-1. Nottingham Forest, who have a good side, Nottingham Forest. So Brentford, you know, we saw our first 3 fixtures at the start of the season. We're thinking West Ham, Burnley, Brentford. We could actually get some points on the board for the first 3 games, which we do really need to get a good start of the season because we've got bags of players going away at AFCON. So anyway, we got the 3 points against West Ham. Bitly disappointed against Burnley. I thought we were the better side against Burnley in the first half, but we are lacking, in my opinion, in the transfer window. We'll get talking about this very shortly. And now it's striker. A striker who's been there, done that, or got some experience in this type of situation. We haven't had one really for 4 years. We're trying to buy players in like Miyende, young, talented players in, coming through. And I have circled all the players who are under the ages or 21 or under. And you know, at the end of the day, Miyende, can't complain, he's been brilliant. He's done what he's been asked. He's improved, came over, different language barrier, different place away from his home, and he's been brilliant. Shipped up the Hibs, come back down, he's learned from his mistakes in the Championship and ended the season on the front foot and was fabulous. Pre-season, a bit rusty, terrible penalty, scores a goal, lovely header, and then misses a sitter last weekend. And that's what's going to happen with youngsters, aren't they? They've got to learn. It's whether how quick they can learn and if they actually can reach that level. Not everybody that comes in, not every youngster that you buy in are going to reach the Premier League standard. And that's no disrespect to anybody because they're playing at a bloody good standard anyway. Mienda's done absolutely amazing, 10 out of 10 to become, you know, to get us scoring goals in the playoffs, to do what he's done. That's amazing. I'm well proud of the lad. The next level is another beast, another animal. Now, can he take that next step? We hope he can do it sooner rather than later because, you know, we have, for me, is where we lacking. I'll get me pen. Is where we lacking are in the striker situation. Now, look at Brentford. It's not going to be easy at the weekend. It proved already after the setback against Nottingham Forest. They beat Aston Villa last weekend and yesterday against Bournemouth. So it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a really tough game. And I welcome all the Brentford fans up to the Stadium of Light. Hope we have a great stay. Safe stay up to the Stadium of Light and a safe journey home, but hopefully no points. But we welcome Henderson back. Jordan Henderson, yes. Born and bred Sunderland. Through the academy, Sunderland fan. I wish Jordan Henderson had come back to Sunderland. But if he'd come back to Sunderland, we wouldn't have had Granit Xhaka. In your opinion, who was the best? Which one of those two? Who was better? Granit Xhaka, brilliant for his club, for his country, captain Arsenal, won the Bundesliga. Jordan Henderson, you know, won the Premier League. He's won Champions League, he's done everything. He's been asked at Liverpool and, you know, done well for England as well. So they're both very good quality calibre of players. And I loved Henderson back at Sunderland. But now, whatever happened, I don't know why. We got Xhaka, and I love it. Xhaka's here as well. So, but yeah, I'm going to go for it. You know, a score prediction. Look, a draw wouldn't be a bad result. I do not want to lose another game of football so soon. We lost last week when we shouldn't have really lost. And I think if we didn't lose Ballard, we would not have lost that game against Burnley. And now we are without Ballard. Ballard's just a revelation. But he can't stay fit. That is his Achilles heel, unfortunately. Pardon the pun. Anyway, so I'm going to go 2-1 to Sunderland. That's more with me heart than me head, because that's the way I roll. Now, transfer window does close. Let's talk about transfers. Goalkeepers, right? Look at the goalkeepers we've got up here. We've got Roofs, Patterson and Moore. There's no more space for goalkeepers, so that ticks the box. Goalkeepers sorted. We'll start with centre-backs. Ballard, injured. Sealed. I think he's done really well. I've been impressed with the young lad. Still learning, still young. Still recovering kind of his fitness side from last season. Scored a lovely penalty last night in the playoff in the Carabao Cup. Class penalty. Given the penalty taking situation, if we get a penalty, very easy last night. Probably one of the best penalties I saw last night. You know, so yes, I think he'll stay at Sunderland now, especially with Ballard being injured. Now these two here, Lucumi and Masuaku, last night I thought the pair of them really good. But I think it's a bit too soon just yet for them two to start a Premier League game of football. I think they need more minutes, whether that's coming on with 20 minutes to go, a couple of games, more training sessions, you know, weeks of hard works. I think Masuaku's passing ability was amazing, and the legs of Lucumi was really good. So they're promising. So they're there, ready for the centre-backs. And we got Alderweireld again, another player. I thought Alderweireld struggled last week against Burnley, and not because of his skill level, of his fitness level. I thought towards the last 20-25 minutes, he looked, and I kept my eye on him, he looked to be hobbling, looked to be struggling. I think that's fitness. He only had 45 minutes of pre-season, got brought in against West Ham, did amazingly well. Full 90 minutes last weekend, a full week to recover for all of the team. I think he'll be loads better this weekend. Luke O'Nien, whether you love him or not, you know, I don't think any Sunderland fan out there does not think Luke O'Nien is an amazing bloke. Amazing Sunderland fan, an amazing ambassador to the club, and he's done amazing to get from League 2, League 1 up to the Championship and now in the Premier League. Now, whether he can succeed in the Premier League is entirely up to Luke O'Nien. We all know he likes to grapple and manhandle, and he can do all that kind of stuff in the Championship. You can't do it in the Premier League with VAR. He's a municipal player. I don't know what the first word was. Centre back, right back, left back. Ticks all the boxes. Whether he's good enough, I kind of doubt it. But I want him to be, if you know what I mean. I would love it if he was a top-notch, or, you know, mid-of-the-range, good quality Premier League player. But at the age of 29, 30, he's actually going to step the next level up. I don't know. Me gut says no. Anyway, so that's the case. That's one less there. Alessi. Do we carry Alessi? He's had injury after injury after injury. It's unfortunate. It looks good when he's on the pitch, but we can't be carrying players who are always injured. But what do? Get him back fit, and I think maybe he's the last chance saloon. See what happens. I don't know about Alessi. Let me know your thoughts down below. And Yelda for me, 22, young lad again. My gut instinct says no. So I'm going to go with my gut instinct today, which means that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players, 4 centre-backs. And for whatever reason, look O'Nien's going to be staying at the club, even for morale in the dressing room, and for, you know, having someone to fit a square peg in a round hole, that type of thing. If we have to, we keep him. But possibly, I'm really gutted for Alessi, because I do like the lad, and I wish he would stay fit. But you can't win games of football if you're not fit. You cannot play games of football. You can't contribute to the team if you're never fit. Ballard could be another one as the same. He's absolutely fantastic if he can stay fit. That's the big question mark, isn't it? So basically we've got 4 fit centre-backs, but then again, Sealt has had a lot of injuries again. So this is the situation we have at Sunderland. We have brought in players throughout the League 1, the Championship campaign, where we've got quality players from good clubs for a low price, but they come with that Achilles heel, with them injury problems. If they can stay injury free, they'll be good players. But that's the problem. We carry them. Sealt so far, touch wood, this season, over that nasty injury, he's looked good, he's looked fit, and so far no blips. Ballard straight away injured. We have O'Nien, shoulder issues a lot of time. Alessi, all sorts of leg issues. In Yelda, I really don't know what's wrong with him. Anyway, so if that's the case, we've really only got 3 fit centre-backs. So do we need to go for one? Jhon Lucumi, for me, fits the bill. Let's see it right. One player to come in. I need my blue pen. That's if you break it down realistically, we do need another fit centre-back if we're going to get rid of these two. Let me know your thoughts down below. Right, midfielders. Xhaka, Diarra, Siddiqui. 3 players look brilliant. Will get better as the season goes on, as the to learn and to know each other's strengths and weaknesses. I do like Diarra. I think he got loads of pace, I like his direct play. And yeah, I think there's something good about these three. Neil, look, it is what it is. I think he's an amazing young lad. I love it how he's come through the academy, support Sunderland in the stands, you know, as you do as a kid, watching your idols, loving your club, loving your city. And he's come to be captain of Sunderland, captain in the Championship, gets us to the Premier League. There's times his passing is really bad, but he's there for a reason. You know, he's a good standard, a good level. He's young. He's not that young anymore, but he's still young. Can he learn from Granit Xhaka? Last night, I don't blame Neil last night for anything to do with Huddersfield. I think that, for me, was just overall collective teamness and bad mismanagement with players in square pegs and round holes. But Dan Neil, you know, I'll keep him for the season. I don't think he's going to be starting any games of football. I don't know about AFCON, because we're going to need someone to start when all these players go away. Lafay, at the moment, I'm a little bit disappointed this season with Lafay. I know he's not starting. I kind of feel last night's game of football, the first half, there was a lot of players playing who did not look happy. Looked as if they were kind of sulking. Now, is that because there's two different 11s? You got your elite 11 that's played first two games, and you got the other 11 who are trying to break in. Now, for me, it's wrong. If that's the case, and I hope it's not, it's the wrong attitude. You got to want to strive and be your best, your better self. And I think Dan Neil can improve with the likes of Granit Xhaka. But Lafay, yes, it doesn't start for me at this moment in time. And Chris Rigg, I think last night Chris Rigg, he wasn't fit up to the standard of game fitness, missed all pre-season. So, but do you put Chris Rigg out on loan in the Championship and get him playing every week again and getting his strength up, or do we keep him on the bench and play him at Sunderland? So, if you think about it realistically, quality-wise in midfield, Xhaka, Diarra, Siddiqui, Lafay, I see the first three. Lafay is a good substitution. So does that mean what happens when we lose Diarra and Siddiqui if those two go to AFCON? What happens? Do we need to actually get another midfielder in? It's a tough one. Blue, because it's tough. Then we move over to Hume and Huggins. Now, my good instinct again says to me that Huggins is unfortunately not going to be good enough. So for me, Huggins, I would get rid. He hasn't been in the same place since he's been injured. And sometimes some players are just not. And for me, my gut instinct, I wish him all the best. But I think for me, I'd release him. Or I don't know if we can. I don't know what the situation is. But Hume is our only right back. But we do have Lucumi, who can play at right back as well. So we do have him who can play it, and 09 who can play at right back. But again, look, 09, is he up to the Premier League standard? So 1, 2, one fit player. For me, that's a place we need to get. We need another right back. Now, whether he's bought in Lucumi, if we get Jhon Lucumi in from Bologna and in the centre back, then that frees up Lucumi for right back and Mazawaku for where the left back is, down there, left back. Players can play both sides. They've brought a left side of play and a right side of centre back in so they can play on both sides. So Lucumi can go over there and help Hume, but for me, do we get another right back? But if we get a centre back in, then that kind of frees Lucumi, who does well over there. So maybe that's the thinking behind it all. Then we got Dennis Serkin and Ronaldo Mandava. Now we got Mazawaku, who can play at left back. Done it plenty of times as well. Dennis Serkin for me is another one of these players in that box where we get in. We got the fantastic talent, no doubt about it. He links up on the left-hand side. He's got bags of energy, never stops running, scores goals. He's really talented. I think he's kind of a better forward left-sided player, left back, than kind of defensive. But he's definitely, I would definitely give him a chance in the Premier League, but he's got to stay injury free, and that's the issue. He had this, and he's had injuries, legs, and now his wrist. He doesn't move his wrist, had operation. So I'm looking forward for him to come back on the bench for Ronaldo Mandava, who looks class anyway. So there we go. For me, I think the left side's okay with Circa, Mandava, and Masuaku. Then we got right side, Talby and Roberts. Now, look, Talby for me is getting better with every game, and I think he's going to be a class player. But again, AFCON, and that just comes up all over the place. And Roberts, for me, is not a Premier League player as much as we like him. You know, as much as a lot of these players were great last season, not always, but they were good at times last season. So for me, Roberts, could he be on his way out? Or do we have to? We need to get another winger in. So I've circled some players, right? Because it's a 25-man squad and there was 28 players. But if we get rid of Elise Yelde, Huggins, that brings it down to 25. And then we got Diarra Siddiqui. Diarra's 21, Siddiqui's 20, Mienda's 20, Talby's 19. So them are the ones who, Rig 18, who are under 21. So I think it's your squad allowed to have players under 21 if they're being brought through the ranks. I don't know about buying them in. I'm not quite sure. Someone let me know in the comments down, but I don't know how we sit with that. But we definitely got Rig. Anyway, so there we go. So Talby is really the only good right-sided player we've got. And Dingra and Mundle. Mundle's class when he's fit. Another player, again, in that bracket, in that box. Brought in, bags of talent, injury prone. We need some of these players to really stay injury-free this season. But the players actually get to the point. And it's tough because you have players who play the whole career and never get injured, who just seem to bounce off the ground and just never get any niggles of anything. But then other players seem to be made of glass, like Paveda. Anyway, so Dinger and Mundle, we do need that player left and right hand side, whether we buy one player who can play on both sides, because we saw last night Roberts can't play on the left. And even when he plays on the right, you know, I just don't think he's up to that standard. In my nothing, you know, it's nothing at all out there. I'm not being horrible to any of these players. It's just my opinion with their standard. If they want to turn up and, you know, lift the bar and prove the likes of us wrong, me and whoever else thinks the same, then good luck to them. Go and prove us wrong. Get out there, pull your socks up and show me what you can fucking do. Right, there we go. That's the only swear of the day. Swear of the day. Who else have we got? So we got strikers. This is the issue. Strikers. Like I said, Mienda, class talent. Is it a bit too soon just yet? Look, I said last night in my review for the Huddersfield game, why did Gu not take a penalty? Why does a striker not stand up and say, I'm first name on the sheet for taking penalties? If I'm a striker, I get paid to score goals. I want to score penalties. I'll be taking penalties. I'll be fucking good at taking penalties. I will be practicing those every day. So why did Gu not take a penalty? Now, if it's because he got injured, then we're knackered with him. If it's just because he got no confidence, then I don't understand why we brought him in, because it's another young kid, 19 years of age. Yeah, bags of talent. I wasn't really overly impressed with anybody who played last night, apart from the two centre-backs, Mukele and Masuaku. So the jury's out with Gu. He's a young lad, you know, there's going to be here all season. We know he's here all season. We want him to perform and do really well. He scored a goal last night. Fair dues, well done. I don't want to see him take the first penalty. I want him to see get up there and take at least a penalty. He gets on there before Alexic takes a penalty. He should have been taking one. Again, for me, we need a striker. We've needed a striker for 4 years. We need a quality striker. We need a striker with experience. Yes, it costs money. Of course it does. We're in the Premier League. We need to survive in the Premier League. Our first line of duty this season is to survive. If we 16th, 17th, I'm happy. So we need a striker. Now, players who really need to go and are no good. Really, Semedo, Brown's on his way apparently. I think maybe it's to Millwall. Rushan, I didn't even know he was still here. Rushan, Semedo, Abdullah, Bar, Paveda. Abdullah seems to be one that they're keeping for the under-21s. Fair enough, young kid. He might improve loads, so yeah, potential there. For me, Bar, I get rid of Bar, I get rid of Paveda, get rid of Semedo, get rid of Brown, get rid of Rushan. Alexic, I'd stick him out on loan. And Harrison Jones, He's a young lad through the academy. He gets into the squad. But for me, I'd put him on loan to the Championship. How many players do we need? We need, for me, one centre midfielder, one striker, one centre back. That's it. And a winger. So that's 4 more players. That is 4 more players. And if we get rid of a couple of others, we have the space for 4 more players. Are we going to buy 4 more players? Well, we need to do something, because if, and hopefully we win at the weekend against Brentford, hopefully, you know, that I'd turn up and have a good performance and we get 3 points, that'll be absolutely fantastic. If we don't hit the ground running and we lose all these players to AFCON, who's coming in? That team who played against Huddersfield last night. We need a striker. We need possibly another centre midfield player, but that's not top on the list. Striker's top on the list. A left winger or a right winger, or somebody who can play in both, and of course, a centre back. 3 at least before September the 1st. Is it going to happen? Well, this is the Premier League, folks. It's a tough old ask in the Premier League. We all know every single team in the Premier League is a bloody good standard, and we've got to reach that bar and get that standard, which is really why I was a little bit disappointed last night. Now, Isidore, he's the one though. Isidore, for me, if we brought in that quality striker, that striker who's been there, got the experience, who can, you know, brush off on Mienda and Gu. Isidore looked good on the left side last night. He looks bloody good on the left side last night. Full of running, pace, speed, direct. He will make defenders shit their pants on the left side. So for me, Isidore can play over there. Mienda can even play on the right side. So Mienda could go on the right, Isidore can go on the left and bring in another quality striker. But for me, number 1 priority, striker. Number 2, central defender. Number 3, a winger. I kind of put the winger before the central defender. 3 players at least. There we go. I've waffled on enough now. I hope I've explained myself enough. Let me know your thoughts down below, your comments. Have I missed anybody out? Hopefully I haven't. Otherwise, I'm doing a shit job. Take care. God bless me. God go with you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Much appreciated. We're almost close to 21,000. And I do enjoy talking to you lot, even though I'm just talking to the phone right now in this room with no friends. See you later, folks. See you for the match day vlog. Match day vlog at the weekend, when hopefully we get 3 points against Brentford. Bye.